Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. Today, the ARMY world truly came to a standstill. All the talk, all the speculation, all the theories that had been whispered among fans for years finally seemed to find some light. In an unexpected live broadcast, Jimin and Jungkook, two names long shrouded in mystery, warmth, and undeniable signs, sat side by side and spoke from the heart. There was no script, no professional cameras. Just the two of them, the soft lights, and hundreds of thousands of breathless viewers behind the scenes. Life began as usual. Jungkook was wearing a plain white t-shirt and his hair was still slightly messy, as if he had just woken up. Jimin arrived a few minutes later, smiling broadly as he waved to the camera. His face filled with a warmth that always made the atmosphere soft. But this time, something was different. He was staring at them for too long. Their laughter was too honest, and every pause between their words felt full of meaning. Jungkook began simply with a simple sentence. "I don't know why I wanted to go live today, but I just felt like I wanted to share something." Jimin stared at him for a moment, then chuckled, like someone who knew exactly what Jungkook was going to say. And that's where it all began. They didn't explicitly say we're dating, but the way they talked, the way they looked at each other, and the little memories they shared that night were all more powerful than mere words. Jimin began to talk about the long nights they'd had when they were trainees, about how Jungkook would come into the room for no reason, just to sit quietly on the floor listening to music. "He always said he just needed a quiet place," Jimin said with a faint smile. "But I know he didn't really come to be quiet. Sometimes he just wanted me to sing a little. He said my voice helped him fall asleep faster." Jungkook laughed and covered his face with his hands. His face flushed. "Do you remember that? I still remember. I even secretly recorded one of your songs. It's still on my old phone." The atmosphere of the live broadcast instantly shifted to pure nostalgia. ARMYs in the comments section were hysterical, writing, "This is real. JIKOOK is confirmed. I can't breathe." But both of them just smiled at the reactions. Then came the most heart-stopping part. Jimin looked into the camera and said quietly, "A lot of people misunderstand our relationship, but whatever they think, I just want them to know I'm grateful to have someone who was always by my side when I was at my weakest. Someone who never gave up on making me laugh, even when I couldn't love myself." Jungkook looked down, his eyes glistening with tears. "Me too," he said quietly. "I was just a 15-year-old kid who didn't know anything, but he was always there. He was like home." The words made the air in the room freeze. ARMYs knew that the word home wasn't just for Jungkook. It meant intimacy, comfort, a place where he felt safe, and he had just called Jimin that in front of millions of watching eyes. As time went by, they began to reminisce about little moments they'd only guessed from clips and fan cams. About the night at the Love Yourself concert when Jungkook hugged Jimin so tightly backstage after The Truth Untold. About their trip to Tokyo, which had been a big mystery among the fandom. Jungkook finally said, with a mix of embarrassment and honesty, "It was just the two of us. We went without a manager. I just wanted some quiet time. And he was the first to think of accompanying me." Jimin chimed in with a soft laugh. "And he booked seats next to each other on the plane even though I said, we can sit separately so it's more relaxed. But he insisted." Jungkook smiled shyly. "I didn't want to sit alone." At that moment, everyone in the live stream knew this wasn't just a bromance. This wasn't just friendship. There was something much deeper than that. They then began answering questions from fans. One ARMY asked, "When was the last time you guys had a discussion?" Both of them burst out laughing. Jimin answered first, 2 weeks ago." Jungkook quickly interjected, "But it wasn't a serious fight. I was just mad because she didn't reply to my texts." Jimin looked at Jungkook, still laughing, then said softly, "She always gets mad if I don't reply quickly. Sometimes I'm just sleeping." Jungkook sighed dramatically, "But if I don't reply, she gets mad too. So yeah, we're even." The most touching part came when Jungkook read a comment that said, "You two are like a love story written by a without hesitation." He looked at Jimin and said, "Maybe that's the way it is." Jimin was taken back for a moment. Then a small smile appeared on his face. A soft, meaningful smile that made millions of ARMY's hearts flutter.
일단 이 방만큼 한번 보실래요?
Jungkook then continued, I used to think love was just something that made people weak, but she changed my perspective. Now I know love is what makes me strong. I'm not afraid to show up, not afraid to be myself, because she always told me I was enough, just the way I am. Jimin lowered his head slowly, his voice almost trembling as he said, You were the same as me. Even when everyone was judging, you still looked at me with such tenderness. I don't know how I would have gotten through those years without you. In that moment, the two of them stared at each other. Neither spoke for a few seconds, but everyone knew no words were needed. Love could be seen in the silence, in the small smiles, in the perfectly synchronized breaths that flow through the air. After a moment, Jungkook opened his phone and played a song softly. It was Still With You. The sound filled the room. Jimin looked at him, then gathered himself. I remember when you first wrote this song. You didn't say who inspired it, but I knew. Jungkook chuckled. You always knew. They then talked about the future, about how their lives might change, about careers, about how time flies. But interestingly, Jungkook added one sentence that made everyone stop typing in the comments section. No matter what happens, he said, I want to still have time for us to talk like this, because sometimes the simplest things are the most meaningful. Jimin, smiling into the camera, then added, So for those of you watching, don't forget to cherish the people who are always by your side. You never know, maybe they're your home too. The live stream ended with them singing a short snippet of Promise, in harmonies so soft it felt like a hug. After the broadcast ended, armies around the world couldn't stop talking about what had just happened. Short clips from the live stream spread across social media. Many cried, many laughed with joy, and some just thought about it, still trying to realize that the moment they had only dreamed of had finally happened. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, two men who have traveled so far from awkward youths to global stars now sit side by side, perhaps smiling at each other after the cameras had turned off. Because behind all the stage lights, all the rumors, and all the noise of the world, they finally have the courage to show the simplest and most beautiful thing, true love. And perhaps, that night, it wasn't just Jimin and Jungkook confessing their romantic moment. It was the universe finally whispering to us all that love, in any form, is always there for us to see, even when we're just staring at the small screen in our hands. And so, ARMY, that night became one of the most beautiful and honest moments in Jimin and Jungkook's journey. Not because they wrote those 3 magic words directly, but because they showed it all in a deeper way through their experiences, laughter, and memories that need no words. They weren't trying to prove anything, weren't trying to answer rumors or prospects. They were simply themselves, 2 hearts growing together, understanding each other without even having to speak. And perhaps that's the truest form of love. For us, ARMY, that moment wasn't just ordinary life. It was a reminder that behind all the spotlight, behind the grand stages and the songs we love, there are 2 people who have cared for each other in a way that is so tender and sincere. So, no matter what labels the world gives them, one thing is certain: Jimin and Jungkook will always have each other. Theirs is a story written by time, nurtured by trust, and witnessed by millions of hearts that shared that night. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to spread the same love, the gentle, honest, and brave love we just witnessed from them. Until next time, where we'll continue to follow the journey of 2 souls who have long found a home in each other. This isn't the end, ARMY. This is just a new chapter in the story we've long called JIKOOK.